Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk through what is it that your true divine masculine wants to see and feel in the energy field from their divine feminine counterpart. So, welcome. Let's get into this topic. So, before I do really deep dive, let's just get clear on who the true masculine and feminine is, because it's not my body, it's not my twin's body. It's something way more beautiful and deeper. Not that our bodies are not beautiful, but it's so much more than that. You see, you are one beautiful being of light, and you are made up of so many different layers that, I mean, I don't even know, right? While I'm in human form. But boy, am I learning a lot and growing and expanding myself. But this journey is about love. And when we hear things that, when we hear things like, you've got to transcend the mind, you've got to detach, you've got to do all these sort of things, let them go, whatever, get over your twin flame, detox. When we hear all those things, what are we not hearing is you are allowed to learn to allow this love into your life. You need to go inwards and learn why you are not letting that love into your life. What is the fear that's pushing them away? What is the fear in the energy field so that you can let this love in? So let's talk about what love is not. Okay, love is not control. It's not demanding. It's not commands. It's not you must show up in a certain way. That is not love. That is conditioning, and that is programming. And we are here to transcend and get rid of all of that on this planet. That is what twins are here doing. And when you are really in beautiful energy, you will get this. At the start of this journey, you won't, because all your fear's been activated for a reason. And all your programming and all your conditioning is just going to regurgitate until you really alchemize it and move it out of your energy field. This is the most safest love, most stable love that you will ever receive. But your programming is not allowing it to come in because there's this fear, right? It's this suppression, particularly for, and this is not gender specific, but there is this suppression of allowing the feminine energy within you to really feel. Your masculine, your higher masculine, and your higher feminine already exist in a higher frequency of you. So when you are new on this journey, like we all were, we're all sitting at the bottom of the mountain, right? We can't see the higher versions of ourselves energetically. You're not tapping into your full potential when you're at the bottom of the mountain, because you're so entrenched in programming, conditioning, religion, the matrix, basically, the news, the stories, all of that kind of stuff, right? The limited versions of ourselves that the matrix is trying to keep us in. As your soul brings all these layers to you for you to look at and see, oh, that's not true, that's not true. What happens is you energetically start to shift. Your energy field starts to move at a higher frequency. So you're climbing up the mountain. As you're climbing up the mountain, you start to see things with a little bit more clarity because you're not entrenched. And so the further you move up, you are transcending this mind. You are learning that the physical world is something you create, not something you need to be physically attached to, right? So the byproduct is that you will, as you do this work, you will transcend the mind, you will detach, okay? So you don't need to try and figure any of that stuff out. As you come further up the mountain, and when you're on top of the mountain, you suddenly realize, oh, there's a higher version of me, and there's a higher version of my masculine and feminine, and we're one being. And I just happen to be representing the feminine polarity, but they are representing the masculine polarity. But actually it's all happening inside of me energetically because I can feel it, because I've got out of the noise. I'm not sitting in the traffic anymore. I'm not at the bottom of the mountain where all the people are. I've gone into solitude as I climb up the mountain. I'm getting out of all the 3D crap, all the radio, the social media, the noise essentially. And you're starting to see things with a lot more clarity, a lot more focus, and you are feeling in, you are sensing, oh, there's so many layers to me that I didn't realize existed. Why do you think we're keeping ourselves, society's keeping us small? What you'll see is that you are love, and all of this stuff is not allowing this love to come to you. And you're seeing that all these stories that you've been telling yourself is not true. Your masculine desires for his feminine, okay? I'm going to talk as if there's two, but there's one energy system going on here. You are a true live being. The true masculine and feminine are an actual molecular structure. I see it through my third eye. I have done from pretty much 6 months into my journey. I see spirit energy come down, by the way, okay? So when I was first awakened, my Kundalini was so intense, it was off the charts, that I thought an alien had taken over my body. The energy around me was so intense that I literally couldn't function. The energy coming down into my crown for 2.5 years, like, I'm not joking when I'm not even exaggerating, was like razor blades coming into my crown, and I couldn't function. I would go to sleep at night, put a hat on my head thinking that was going to help. I don't know, it distracted me. I just could not function. It was that intense. That is the masculine energy trying to come into spirit, and from spirit and in, but my body, my physical body and my energy field was not able to let him in yet, because I needed to go through my purification process. I wasn't able to let that love. The more that I've obviously moved and the energy fields moved, the higher masculine can come down, and it's really settled. So if you're somebody that suffered like this, I'd love for you to put it into the comments. The circling around your head, this is your Shiva energy. It's your masculine energy. Spirit energy comes down, as above, so below. It's trying to come into your field. The more you open yourself and you transmute all these energies and see where you've not allowed love in, the better you'll feel, because your inner masculine, your divine masculine, your higher masculine is allowing you're opening your feminine energy up, and you're allowing your masculine energy to come through you, and you feel better. And guess what? You will realize, oh my gosh, this is love. Not my fears, not what I've been programmed to believe. Nothing in this physical world is love. This is it. And what happens is you start to relax into, and you suddenly go, I want to slow this whole journey down, because the feminine energy wants to feel. She needs to embody. She needs to love herself. Your masculine wants a safe container to land in. And while your feminine energy is chaotic and all over the place and throwing your toys out and demanding and commanding and I need this from you, blah, 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 right? He can't land here. There's no safety there for him to stay. This is why I created the union code. It's not that you can't land there. And if you want to know about the union code, I will put a link in the comments section so you can watch that video. But he can't land safely. You need to unravel your desires. And when I'm talking about the feminine energy, not gender specific, you need to be so open for your masculine to land in your energy, and then for it to physically show up. You need to be so open that you know all your desires, and I'm not going to go there on a public forum. I talk very deep about this in my membership. You need to know, you need to get honest with yourself as the feminine polarity and go, why can I not allow myself to be open physically, with vulnerability, with intimacy? Where is my truth not fully? Where am I not being true? And I don't mean looking at your truth and then ringing your masculine and telling him, okay? You don't need to do that. You need to come into your center and go, this is the abandonment wound. And I can guarantee that it is all to do with intimacy. The feminine energy is so suppressed that we abandon our own desires with intimacy. You need to be so open and vulnerable and ready to be there and look at the patterns within you as to why you've been afraid to go there, right? And really speak into what it is that floats your boat, essentially, right? This is a big topic. So without going into too much detail on YouTube around it, this is what your masculine desires for you. He can't land in energetically with you if you're still all clenched up. If your energy system is still going, I don't feel safe yet, I don't feel secure yet, because I've not met those layers of myself. Because I've not been truly honest with what I want for me because of all these other experiences that I've had. But they're done now. And now it's about releasing those, sending them away with love and knowing that they don't define you. This is what your true high masculine is trying to teach you through the physical vessel, okay? They're trying to teach you, come back to self. What are your desires? Don't worry about what I want and need. I'm the masculine energy and I am here to honor you. I am here to love you. I am here to choose you over and over and over again. But how can I do that when you don't even know what that looks like for yourself? This is a deep journey that we're all on. And so when I hear things like just transcend the mind, detach, do all this sort of stuff, we're bypassing this conversation. And this is the conversation. This is the real conversation, so that you can step fully butt naked in truth. This is who I am. You don't need to be perfect. Somebody wrote on my channel yesterday and I said I'd do a video, so I'll link it into this one, around I feel like I got all this inner child work. I know that's what it feels like, but what it is actually is you need to go inwards and go, where have I abandoned myself? Yes, I had an experience when I was a child. Maybe that's where the energy pattern started. Maybe my belief patterns from my parents were no sex before marriage, right? That was definitely in my family. You know, let go of all of that stuff, because what it creates is suppression, right? And that's nobody's fault. It's just that's ancestral stuff, right? And I wasn't even raised in a religious home. That's the craziness of it, right? So it's like, unpack all of that. You're not broken, but see it with clarity. See with clarity where you have not spoken up. Write it down, journal it out, what you desire for you. It's not what your twin wants, because this is what we're programmed. Look outside, mother them, do this, run around after this person, blah, blah, blah. Water everybody's garden, but not mine. You need to get the weeds out, which is what your soul's bringing to you. What are the weeds? Then you need to plant some new soil and you need to put nutrients in and nourish it. And then you can plant your seeds and then you can really water them. This is not about your masculine and what they can give to you. It's what you can bring out of you that already exists. You know deep what it is that you desire. Speak it into existence. Embody it. Become it. That is what union is. It's the embodiment of. I often hear too around the law of assumption, right? The law of assumption, this is how I interpret, so just take what resonates. The law of assumption is basically imprinting into the subconscious of a belief, right? So I know that I'm one, right? I know I'm one with my twin, but my fear-based energy is getting in the way of it, okay? So the difference between embodiment and law of assumption is you can know it, but if you haven't dealt with all this energetic layers, the law of assumption is not going to do anything for you. You need to embody it. Embodiment of union is, I know all the desires that I want for me. I know what I need from my masculine. I know what I need from my friends. I know what I need. Instead of, this is what I command from you. This is what I demand. This is how I expect you to show up for me. two very different energies. We are here to shift all of that. If someone, it's really funny, right? If somebody comes at me and demands something from me, or commands like, make sure you're home by 6 p.m. for dinner, I'm like, no, I don't think so. That's not playing out for me. But the programming used to be, holy shit, need to get home by 6 p.m. Crap, now I'm running late. Now I'm going to disappoint this person, blah, blah. Like, just no. And guess what? You actually turn up at 6 p.m. because you're not all up in the mind and stressed. You know, when we put these expectations and these commands on people, know that it's not your true self doing that. It is your programming doing that. And this is what this journey takes you back to. It takes you back to who are you at your core essence, beyond the programming, beyond the conditioning. Tap into what is it that you desire as a feminine polarity. What are your desires? Because when you understand and resonate and speak them out loud and cry out that you've not allowed those desires to come into fruition for you, this is when the energetic system really changes, because you're now being truthful and honest and vulnerable with what your true desires are. But whatever you're trying to focus on, what, you know, you want to do this for this person, this person, this person, or definitely your masculine, you're missing the point. The point of the journey is they need to honor and respect us. But they're reflecting to you that you don't even know who you are. So how can you expect me to come in and love you wholly and viscerally? I can't even pronounce that word, but anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, right? How can I come in and love you to that level when you're not letting it in? And you're not letting it in because your programming is too afraid to admit what it is that you truly desire. And that's the stuff you've got to get to the depths of on this journey. That's a deep one today. Anyway, if you need some help and support, you know, I've got lots of stuff to help people, but this is the level. This is the level that and when you get to that level, guess what happens? Your higher masculine starts to come through. You start to feel more anchored because you're balanced in your own inner yin and yang, your own inner masculine and feminine. He starts to transcend. He starts to anchor you down. You start to feel like, holy shit, I'm now creating my union. My feminine, my higher masculine, higher feminine are now interacting, and I'm literally embodying, and I want to slow this down because for the first time in my life, I feel safe. And guess what? The physical's not even there. It's all happening energetically within you. You finally feel you can come home to yourself. You can be honest with yourself, truthful with yourself, and breathe. And guess what? No demanding. Don't need any expectations, because I don't need to. Because I know what I need for me now. And I get to choose who I open my front door to and who I don't. That is the gift that you've been given through this beautiful journey. This is all happening energetically first, okay? It's embodiment. It's all about embodiment. Sending lots and lots of love.